Welcome to Hermitage Park Primary School. I'm Faye Calder-Kelly and I'm the head teacher here at Hermitage Park, and this presentation will hopefully help you and your child to get ready for the move from nursery to primary one. We're really looking forward to seeing your child, and it may look a little different this year, but we're still Hermitage Park. Our staff will be here to support you and your child, and I'm sure we'll be able to support a successful transition. So who will be the key adults for you and your child? Well, first of all, they'll have a home-based teacher who this year are Miss Young, who's a principal teacher for early years and also our class teacher. She'll know many of the children already from the nursery class. And we also have Miss Binney, who's a very experienced primary one teacher. There will be a range of support staff who will also be working in the classes each day, so lots of adults for your child to get to know and to get to know your child. So who else can support you here at Hermitage Park? Well, we have a very friendly office staff, we have a great janitorial team and support and teaching team, but we also have a senior leadership team that consists of myself, Miss Calder-Kelly, and Miss Colvin, who's our deputy head teacher for upper school, and Mrs. Black, who takes a lead with our nurture class and pupil equity. Most importantly, you'll want to know the practical arrangements of your child starting school. Well, as you'll understand, at the moment with the COVID restrictions, we're working from quite a changing environment. So we've planned our starting school arrangements on the council and the national guidelines as they are now in June. That may look different in August, and as such we'll need to update you if that applies. But at the moment, the pupils are divided into two classes, as I've explained, with Mrs. Binney and Miss Young as the home class teachers. Now within those classes, we've then divided the children into three smaller groups to help us meet the requirements of infection control. It also, though, gives us a great opportunity for the children to get to know each other and the class teacher and the staff around them, the routines of school life in a really small group. So it brings benefits to everybody as well. Now, initially, only one group will attend school each day. And in that first week, we have two in-service days on the Monday and the Tuesday, the 10th and the 11th. And then we'll have a group in school on the Wednesday and the Thursday. And one group will start the following Monday. All of this information will be laid out in a letter to you that you'll receive in your pack, in which you'll get to know what group your child is in and what days they'll attend in the first few weeks. We are hopeful that we'll be able to increase numbers as the restrictions are loosened slightly, but also if guidance changes from the council and nationally. You'll be given a chance next week to meet and greet the class teacher. So you've been given a time to come in to meet with the teacher outside the school, and that gives your child a chance to know what your teacher looks like. But also you'll be given a PE bag with lots of information inside, a starting school booklet for you and a starting school booklet for your child. Lots of forms within it, which I'll talk about in a moment. But also they're also being given a PE bag and a pocket bear which they can bring to school that will have their name on it. Now that transition bear will fit perfectly into their pockets and can help them and keep them company in their first few days. We want the transition from nursery to primary one to be as smooth as possible for your child. We want the classroom of primary one to look like an extension of their nursery class, but also provide the challenge that they need. Now we'll be working with infection control guidelines this year that are a little bit different. However, we will still be making sure that your child has lots of opportunity to learn through play, because at Hermitage Park we really value that, the skills that supports to develop, whether that is working with others, creativity, problem solving, and really extending their imagination. So what will your child be learning in primary one? Well, in primary one, we cover the early level curriculum for excellence experiences and outcomes, which is really an extension of what they've already been learning in nursery. And in doing that, we look at the skills that they need within literacy, numeracy, health and well-being, expressive arts, RME, religious and moral education, sciences, social technology, social subjects, and technologies. All of these learning outcomes will be supported within the primary one classroom, but also through lots of outdoor experiences. So what will the primary one classroom look like? Well, this year, obviously with infection control measures, we have far less children within the room, and we've also reduced the amount of furniture and activities that are available at any time. However, your child will still have access to sensory play, be that sand and water. They will still have access to arts and crafts activities, and we'll be looking to develop their early writing skills. We also have role play activities, block play for construction and small world and exploring the world around them, and also some problem solving, science, technology, engineering and maths area. We'll be really encouraging them to extend their interest in books as we develop their early literacy skills, and there will be a specific teaching table as well for the teacher to do some directed teaching more than they've experienced in the nursery, in their nursery experience. We also have an outdoor area that has lots of block play and exciting things for the children to learn through and with. So what does a typical day in the life of a primary one look like? Well, when they come into the classroom, they'll have a soft start in which they'll gather and say hello to each other. There'll then be a balance between whole class activities such as singing songs, listening to stories, and also small group teaching input. So the teacher will work with small groups on magnetic boards, learning sounds, making words, teaching early reading and writing skills, but also working with a program that we call SEAL, which is the Stages of Arithmetic Learning, and that's how we teach the early numeracy skills here at Hermitage Park. There'll be lots of free play activities outside and in. So how will we get to know your child? Well, we already know lots about your child from speaking to your child's nursery provision, but also you'll have provided information for us through the Moving into Primary 1 form, and your child will, at the beginning of Primary 1, be starting in a small group, so the teachers will have lots of opportunity to get to know what their interests are, what their strengths are, and what their next steps are with their learning. Our job is to build on what your child already knows and extend their learning as they move through Primary 1. So how can you work in partnership with us? Well, initially at the beginning of Primary 1, parents will not have the usual contact in terms of coming into the classroom that we would usually encourage and allow. But we will have lots of other ways that you can find out what your child is doing in school, such as you will receive a class newsletter with the planned learning. You'll have posts on their online learning journal in which you'll be able to see what they've been learning and what their next steps are, and also be able to communicate with their class teacher. We also have school newsletters that come out every 2 weeks, and once you've signed up to ParentPay, you will also receive emails from the school office. We have a really active Twitter page, and I'd really urge everybody to follow us on Twitter because you'll get lots of updates that way, and through our school website. We have a really active school association who also will send out communications, and it would be great to see many of you attending our school association meetings where possible. In your pack that you'll receive next week, you will receive a school uniform order form where you can order items that have a logo on. But most of our school uniform that you'll see on this slide is things that you can buy in your local Asda's or Sainsbury's or Marks and Spencer's and will be absolutely adequate. Initially, we are asking children not to bring in their PE kit, but there will become a point where we'll ask them to bring in a PE kit that will remain in school and we'll send home at holidays to get washed. They'll need a t-shirt, tracksuit bottoms or shorts and gym shoes. We also ask that you ensure that your child has lots of layers with them at all times because we want to go outside as much as possible, and waterproofs as well, please. I referred to the fact that we use ParentPay on a previous slide, but I would urge everybody, if you haven't already, to sign the form that allows us to add you to our ParentPay system. That will allow you to order lunches, it will allow you to pay for items that are needed at school, but also is how we send out whole school communications. So it will really mean that you don't miss out on any messages. School lunches. School lunches are free currently for primary 1 to 3, and we would usually be offering a hot lunch, but on return we're going to be offering packed lunches for everyone in primary 1 and anyone who orders a hot lunch throughout the school, and that's because of the fact that due to the infection control measures we'll be eating lunches in classrooms. Your child is very welcome to bring their own packed lunch from home. We are, however, a health promoting school, and as such we would ask that we avoid adding sweets and crisps and things like that to our packed lunch where possible. We will be giving you information on how to order packed lunches but using ParentPay, but for the first week we'll be ordering them for all primary 1s unless you let us know otherwise. We are really keen that anyone who's eligible for free school meals, milk and assistance with schoolwear gets it. And as such, there's a form in your P1 pack that you can check whether you're eligible and fill in and return to the school office. If you have any questions or you need help with completing the form, the office staff are always happy to help. As well as going outside for lots of learning opportunities, your child will also go out at playtime and lunchtime. At playtime, they will have the opportunity to have a snack. We ask that they bring in a healthy snack such as oatcakes or fruit. We would previously have provided fruit, but at the moment with infection control measures, we're unable to do that, unfortunately. Staff will be outside supporting them, and we hope that soon their buddies will be able to support them too. Milk can be ordered through the school office, and there is a form in your P1 pack to tell you about that. But we'd ask that everybody brings in a water bottle from home, which is named, and they will store that in the classroom. No juice, please, because we have spillages and things like that, but water is really important so they're able to access that throughout the day. If your child has an appointment or an unplanned absence, they're sick, please telephone the school and give a reason for the absence. You should be able to leave a message on the answer phone, but the reason is really important because we have to log that on our systems. If you can check the school holiday dates, that would be really useful, as any holidays taken during term time will be recorded as unauthorised. We are a rights respecting school, and that means we teach our children and our school community about the UN Charter of the Rights of the Child. And each year the children are involved in creating a class charter of expectations of each other so that they're able to have a successful time working together. We have 3 school rules: be respectful, be safe and be ready. And we reward lots of positive choices through certificates such as Star of the Week, House Points and a celebration called Hot Chocolate Friday as well. Now, sometimes children find it difficult to follow the school rules, and we recognise that children come into school with different levels of school readiness and can find the routines and expectations of school life challenging at times. So in order to help those children, we will be working with them to give verbal warnings, to also spend lots of time talking to them about the choices that they've made, and we will also be working with you as parents to seek solutions and seek support if needed. So how can you help your child to get ready for school? Well, it's a really good idea to have a look at the website and show your child the tours of the school. In the P1 bag, there's also a little book that you can look at with your child, and hopefully lots of you are taking part in the Going on the Bear Hunt transition project as well. There's lots of things you can order to get ready, but really importantly, it's important that you're working with your child to build up their independence, such as helping them to recognise that they need to get themselves dressed, thinking about how they use the toilet and hand washing practices, but also when they're eating, encouraging them to use a knife and fork independently as well. General things such as tidying up their own belongings, sharing with others, and encouraging good manners are always great too. I've already mentioned the council transition project. We're going on a bear hunt. If you haven't already been onto the website, please do. There's lots of great ideas of activities you can do with your child that will really support them with thinking about readiness for starting school. And it will be lovely to build on these ideas as they join us in Primary 1. So I know lots of you will be thinking that the practical arrangements for Primary 1 this year are a little bit different and can be quite challenging for many of you. Usually we would have a school breakfast club. We have a number of after school clubs that collect children from the school, such as Sociable Kids, that's usually based here, and the Central Leith After School Project. At the moment, we don't know what after school arrangements will be available. However, we will update you as soon as we know. So to conclude, we're really looking forward to meeting you and your child next week at the meet and greet. You'll be given lots of information both for you and for your child in your P1 pack. And there will also be some key forms that we would ask that you complete and return to the school office as quickly as possible to ease their transition in August. In particular, the key information and consent form, the photo permission and the online learning journal form if you haven't already got one set up from nursery, as that will enable us to allow you to see photos of your child in the classroom setting and update you on their progress, which I'm sure will be really reassuring for you. I know that this year is a little bit daunting, more than other years in the transition from nursery to Primary 1, but I can assure you that the whole Hermitage Park team is here to support your child and to support you with this transition. And I'm positive that we can work together to make it a really positive experience for everybody. I look forward to welcoming you and your child into the Hermitage Park community.